bars and platforms and such.
I assume this is older.
We're live.
Welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib. We have a new FM this week. We had a incidental and potential introduction into some of the new PvP setup, and we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the raid a little bit. So let me go from introduce everybody. Kenny.
Hello.
Lady Cat.
Hello.
Two Doors.
My YouTube searches are varied and deep.
Okay. And TSM.
I have no response to that.
Yep. Yep. And Magic Mike. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. He might be having some issues. So let's get going. HTML5 additional memory improvements during battle. I know certain people have, after we haven't hit a target in a month, they forget about it, how to hit it. So maybe this will help for those people.
Or not. It's supposed to be getting better at HTML5. I know Derpy quite likes it. He's doing all right. He's getting a bit of flack in the forums on Kickstarter's page, but at the end of the day, we've got to get this thing done. Otherwise, the game's going to die off. So they are cracking on with it, and it's going to take a long time. And look what the game was like 8 years ago compared to now. Everyone complains about it now. It was a damn sight worse 8 years ago, I can tell you. So it's they've got to rush it out as best they can, and at the end of the day, we're going to have to like it and lump it and decide to go with it, whatever they're going to get come the end of the year. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think they've made, in the process of introducing HTML5, they made vast improvements to the Flash part of the game. I can't remember the last time I crashed.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
So.
Keep the Flash.
This whole HTML5, keep it for Battle Pirates. That'll make everything okay.
So you're trying to say inject more Flash crashes on purpose so that we don't think the HTML5's so bad? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, what I'm saying is that
Hefe said.
I was agreeing with you with the fact that. Years and years ago, the game was less stable, and it's especially in Flash, it's incredibly more stable than it was before. So I was agreeing with you on that fact. So, how many people spend more than 10% of their time in HTML5? Okay. Alrighty. So, all right. Just so
it's in alpha still at the moment, isn't it? It says beta there, but as far as I'm concerned, it's alpha for me. So
I'm self-isolating.
Yes, you never know where you're going to catch from HTML5. So, alrighty. If we're done with that one, let's move on. All right. Right now, we got an update that we're going to a 4-week April or FM cycle, which is a good thing for building a new fleet. The PvP info post, I don't know if that's going to come out, but give them one click. Okay, so... I don't think the PvP changes are going to happen this week or next week. So potentially the following week, if at all. So next week we have Bounty 31, and didn't we have an art showcase this week? Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, there's a bit of yeah.
Okay, and
April's art showcase is up. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But that's not supposed to be for till next week. But Spring Reckoning special event and another CM diary. And I assume the following week is going to be Pillage because of the change from a 3-week to a 4-week cycle.
Yeah, there's no mention of it in the notes, but I'm guessing that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we still haven't got the other calendar, the one that we can't read because it's too complicated.
Well, yeah, I think she's going to make improvements on that. I did mention that to Geely today, and she said she was going to get on it. And I asked if that meant it was dropping today, but I never heard back. So maybe it will. Maybe it won't. So we'll see. And maybe we'll also get some clarification on what we're about to talk about. So does anybody have anything else on the calendar? Okay, let's move on. All right, the accidental PvP preview. There was a period of time last night after the update where you could upgrade your Great Hall, your radio tower, your warehouses, and your turrets. These are the upgrade screens. I don't know what to believe as placeholders or what to believe as things moving into the future. I do tend to want to believe that this the increases in armor and deflection will take place. I don't know about the cost or the upgrade times. It seems reasonable for the upgrade time just because once we progress to the new PvP rules, all these items are going to be part of the new win condition as far as a base hit. So, once we get rid of bubbles and all that good nonsense, it's no longer going to be a percentage. It's killing the Great Hall, the outpost, the radio tower, and the warehouses. And then the attacker wins at that point in time.
Did anybody happen to see if it only went to level 2 or if it went beyond level 2?
This, I don't know, but this makes sense to me. It's 75 million, from 2,500 to 75 million for the Great Hall, and another click. We get same thing for the radio tower. 2,500 to 75, and same. It's basically the same increase. A little bit more build time, but because this should be inconsequential,
right?
It's sort of part of the game. So if it's 4 minutes and 39 seconds, but
the only problem that I see is that if you start an upgrade that's like a 10-day, 8-day, 9-day upgrade on a building, you might be behind for a week until you can catch up.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. If they all of a sudden change the rules, don't announce it until the day before, which they're known to do, then you're stuck in that situation. Do I cancel what I've already done and then restart it? And Ben says it only goes to level 2.
Okay.
So
that wouldn't be the first time that's happened. You're right.
Yeah.
People have been caught out before.
It might matter if all of a sudden, if this upgrade happens at the same time as the PvP changes happen, then it's going to matter.
Yeah, especially if they don't really, strategy guides and things like that. They tend to pop up. Everything seems to pop up. Everything needs to have 24 hours. And I think some things need to have more than 24 hours of prior proper notice. And this would be one of them because it could conflict with what you're already doing because the only information that we've gotten so far is that it's going to happen this week. And then it's going to happen before Bounty, or it's not going to happen before Bounty. So it could happen at any point afterwards. But they should give players a heads up, because, as Lady Cat brought up, you could start a 10-day upgrade, and now you are, now you're stuck with, your radio tower having, somebody could bunker bust it out and with no problem. And yeah, it should just give us a little bit of notice on these things.
What's with the reverse promise?
Yeah, does the tower even work? I don't get notifications if I'm attacked. According to what Ben was saying earlier, at level 3, there's an RFID chip in your, right behind your ear that will let you know. But at this point, we're only at level 2. So once we get further than level 2, but I don't have any hope that it's actually going to tell you anything more than it did before.
It is prettier, though. The upgrades are much prettier. Somebody did a nice job in the artwork for once.
Yeah, well, it'd be nice if it did work. I'd like to get notice that I need to repair my base.
Yeah, the whole PvP. Yeah, there's going to be so many changes as far as the change in PvP that not only your base, but I think your ship config, because the Carnage, if we still haven't seen the Gate Master, but things like the Carnage that are more aggressive might be better choices because nobody can prep them out. So it's it'll be interesting to see what they work out, and they keep on delaying it, and I'm not privy to some of the issues that they're having, but I can imagine there's a lot of them because they're trying to make a very major change to drop prepping, have everything come back to being repaired. There's a lot of issues that I could assume being involved with that. So, all right, let's see the next one. The defense platforms, a minimal increase in. This one doesn't really get that much of an increase. I mean, it's around 25%, 30%. Again, I don't really trust the times or the costs, but and the other thing that's missing is there's no power increase, which is interesting. So I don't know. Thoughts on the defense platform?
The thing is, that is obviously, if we're not going to get any more power from our outposts, then obviously we're virtually capped already by the time. And there's 2 new upgrades just came in for obviously for the new weapons as well. So really, we're struggling to actually use keep under the limit that we've got now. So I'm glad they haven't increased them. To be honest, in fact, it would be quite detrimental to do so.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little weird with this, and it's a little weird when we consider that they keep increasing the amount of heavy transformers we can have in general. People are getting upset that you can't use all of your strongest turrets at max power with your portals and such. And I mean, while I do think that you shouldn't be able to do that, I also think that you shouldn't just be given heavy transformers that are basically useless. Yeah, put a few available to be bought in the store for people to catch up if they need to, but don't just you can now have 16, but when in reality you could only have 10, let's say, maxed out. Then there's no point to even getting them if you're all caught up. So it's less incentive for them. But maybe the prizes aren't for them. I don't know.
Yeah, and this might have been a little bit of, I don't want to say the word pushback, but a little bit of, they might have made adjustments to this raid because people were very disappointed that the Gatekeeper, the first Tier 9 Defender Hall, is going to drop in bounty as opposed to the raid like they originally told us. And there was a lot of complaints associated with, well, we can't even defend our bases now, and now you're going to drop it in bounty where people are going to be hitting our bases. Maybe that's the direction they were trying to go, but I don't know. I'm just just speculation on my part. But yeah, no power increases, just moderate increases to deflection and armor. Nothing like what they normally do between tier levels where they double everything or sometimes times 10, just great craziness. So this seems more in line. So let's see what's next. All right. Warehouse. It's all the old level stuff. So again, the stuff on the right, I'm not paying attention to. They make it more defensible, but only moderately.
But we can't hold one.
Yeah. You can't hold. There's no indication you can hold more resources or special resources. So, or have additional specials or armor slots. So, and this might be, some of these areas, do you increase the armor? Do you take armor off to account for the total power level? I don't know. So what I feel out of all of this is a lack of power creep.
And maybe that's the thing that's done on purpose to stifle us to, otherwise you just have max everything. The problem is you've got limited ability, as you said, and then still tier 9 fleets that can walk most bases. Not all, I have to say. I've seen several bases that have stopped them, but you have to have a little bit of magic about your base design to do it.
Magic is the right word too. It's really annoying. It's become an arcane art. Like there's a few people that know exactly what they need to do, and the rest of us sort of get it by leaks and little pieces and experiments and stuff. It's kind of annoying.
Not by leaps.
No, leaks.
Oh, leaks.
Leaks, meaning somebody from some alliance wants to get all huffy and talk about how bright they are and tells you, you dummy, you should have been doing this. And I'm like,
yeah, we need a WikiLeaks for bases.
That's the whole point of alliances.
What, to have leaks?
To have disgruntled alliance members or ex-members and then leak all the information, as they always do in the end.
Yeah, and I know somebody that's doing that right now, which is kind of funny. It feels a little like real world.
Yeah. So after 6 months in the alliance, now I'm in the real chat. Oh, okay, this is different. Okay. Yeah.
But it's just the fact that the game makes it arcane knowledge, like that you can't really look at at something and go, oh, of course that's going to work. It's like people are putting certain towers in that just don't seem like they do anything, and all of a sudden it is the mojo that stops the warhounds. I'm like, no, how? It's annoying. It's what it is, because you can't really just look at a tower or a turret and go, oh, of course, that's exactly what I need.
It's the combinations, isn't it? That's the thing. You gotta think laterally sometimes, and sometimes even the newest ships aren't necessarily the best ships. I've seen a couple of bases, and then look back at the stats of a certain couple of ships that are in there for defense, and I've gone, now that makes sense, So there's still some clever people out there,
Yeah,
which is good.
And putting weird weapon types on, like not what you'd expect, like a radioactive weapon on a ballistic ship, and all kinds of weird things going on.
Polonium thrower. Yeah.
On a what?
Polonium thrower? Is that what you're referring to?
I think so. Is that a ship weapon or a turret? I don't remember it.
Yeah. We talked about that last week, last week, because people wanted to get it added in because of the accuracy debuff that it provides.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and some people are talking about cryo turrets being really good, and I'm like, how? I don't get it.
It's a black art. Don't worry about it.
It really is. You have to try. You have to try things, but when you're in an alliance of 100 people all trying things, you have a huge advantage over a 5-person alliance all trying things.
We've got a good method. It's called don't bother doing anything until the change happens, because it can't be bothered.
Yeah,
Well,
that's sort of how I am right now.
I'm stupid. I really got into this game for defense, and I'm still going crazy. I've actually stopped a Warhound fleet, though, so I was pleased with myself. But the other ones walked through, and that's the other thing I can't figure out is why was one Warhound fleet drive to the back and I kill one of them, and another Warhound fleet doing the exact same thing, all 5 die. Are they just picking the wrong specials, or?
Yeah, 'cause you could have different levels of builds and whatnot. So yeah. All right. Anything? I think this is the last one on the PvP preview. Is there anything else we should discuss? Again, don't believe any of these numbers. I would believe the numbers on the left more than the right. And there are some issues with people that were able to take advantage of this.
They'll have to undone, surely.
What?
They'll have to undo it, won't they? Roll
Well,
it
it seems,
back?
yeah. I'm not sure exactly what they've undone. Or have they undone the warehouse level, or the level of these buildings?
I thought I read in the forums, maybe I'm wrong, that they set the stats back.
Yeah,
what
but
was-
if the level stays the same,
The level,
as soon as you push
possibly.
forward, as soon as they change the stats back, you're already there.
well, they're working on it. Well, if it's only
They're
31
working on it.
seconds, yeah, that part doesn't really matter.
It only matters when you think about if going back to the radio tower, wherever the first one was, 36 seconds. You
Yeah.
just go click thanks, and actually, if it does come in to be 11 days or something like that,
Right.
if the
Then it would
timings are the timings, then okay, it's instantaneous virtually for most things, so it doesn't really matter. But if it is then going to go to like the rock formation, which is like 18 days or something crazy, then that's going to cause a bit of a stir. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
Not
but
the
if
first
they-
time it's happened. Not the first time.
If they coined the builds now and did them all, so what if they still have that level? They would have just coined it the next time too. So I'm not worried about the timing, as long as the stats are not.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay. Yeah, it's still unresolved. Maybe we'll get some resolution throughout the show. Retribution, the past raid that we just did. The last full raid in the siege cycle. But we're going to have an easier continuation than in theory, than we've had historically, because there's still going to be a top target that is going to be meant for the Punisher. So that's something to look forward to, or something to be afraid of. But how is everybody? What was everybody's thoughts on the Retribution raid?
It's just grindy. It's a lot of points to have to get.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it fine. I did the 104s and 106s, for instance, in the base, but it just took time, so much time. I ended up with about 60 million, which was enough for what I needed. I know a lot of people got a lot more than that, but did the best I could.
Oh, just a reminder. Somebody remind me. I still got points to spend before after the show, so they don't go to naught. So. I was just clicking. And I'm like, okay, but not bragging with that. It's just sort of like,
personally, I didn't mind a couple of targets. I ended up autoing using the old BP app again, and just doing them, and then going in and doing the final target, the big one, when people can jump in and just sit next to you, and get basically a free raid. If they're low level, it was ideal. So they had one ship done, they could hop in with you and pick up some points. So I did quite a bit of that come the end, and I autoed all the 104s and the 6s in the end after about the first few hours, because it's just like, as you said, it took a long time. So I was doing something else, and I was just going, click next one, and then you take more damage, but ultimately it's less monotonous. So I was like, and they only need 60. I mean, only that's not a very good way of putting it, is it? but actually there was less prizes, obviously, than there traditionally has been.
Or they intended to be. Remember the gatekeeper.
Yeah, that's valid, I suppose. Yeah, and we wouldn't
Yeah.
know what the price for that would have been. So, and there were some random prizes in there that we actually could have got elsewhere in the TLCs and that sort of stuff. There was no point in actually like paying 2 million for like a tier 8, I think, rocket or something, which was actually on tier 1 of the TLC that was on the same event. So there was a few ways of getting kit that if you so needed it, you could do it in different methods. So
Yeah, it's the same as them. I got about 16 million. I started autoing after a couple of days, taking a couple of ships out because that helped my repair time. It's not like the targets were bad or anything. It was just boring. I'd done this driving last month. It's not anything different that we've encountered. It's put your tank up front and like if you have X1 on your ships, remember to turn them so that their special cannon that nerfs the turrets damage is in the right area. But other than that, it was not fun.
hitting as many torp towers as possible as well to give you the reload speed and that sort of stuff as well.
That was interesting, I thought, because they were actually like it was good to have them because you got the damage and such and you got the speed buff. It was helpful in like you could use them to run away from the flamethrower turrets coming at you, but
that's what I was doing.
You also had to be careful so that you didn't accidentally like run your fleet up into like 2 or 3 groups of turrets at once.
Or hit a mine.
Or well, hitting a mine isn't so bad.
Nah.
But
It's
they
like
were
hitting a
very
speed
interesting.
bump.
It was better to hit the mines than it was to get one of the thrower turrets to hit you. Put it that way.
Yeah. I liked the inclusion of the torp towers and everything that they provided, even though at first it was like, oh no, I can't control my ships. What is this? Once you get to learn how to use it a little bit, it's a welcome addition.
Assuming that we have to make a choice between unavoidable damage in the targets versus the number of targets versus it'd be nice to have a third choice, but from what I've seen recently, those are the two choices. What would you prefer? I think it's going to vary across the panel as far as unavoidable damage, but I get a ton of points, or I'd rather just grind away a lot of targets.
Can we have both? Unavoidable damage on auto, but I can drive and reduce that.
And that's one set and
I mean, that's the old Hellwraith method, isn't it? I mean, the old Hellwraith thing.
Yeah. I was going to go Hellwraith with that. Yeah. It was going to go the same way with, because if you fuck up a little bit with Hellwraith,
you were screwed.
Yeah. Everything the wheels come off and now you're dead.
I personally like that, I have to say, because especially in the days when Liam used to try and drive his subs, used to crack me up every time. And he was like that. Oh, I'm just coin him again. And I was like, and for the 50th time, he's going to coin him because he can't drive.
This man supports BP.
Oh yeah,
it was so like thrilling, but also scary. And as someone who has like not low ping, like a bit of a delay, it was that much harder for me because it's like you get in and you ride the razor's edge and you're going through and you do all this and everything's great, and then the next one you go in and you screw up on like the very first thing, but you still have to write it out, so you have to make like backup strategies on the fly for like what happens if I get here, what do I do to reset everything, and I've just taken an hour and a half of damage. Oh God, why? Everything is awful. And you're like 40 seconds into a 7-minute target. It's like,
it's high reward but high risk.
But Brian brought up another point. It depends a lot on your ping rate, and it may not have anything to do with really you, but maybe your distance from the servers or how the servers were acting at that point in time. There's like other factors involved that I think a lot of players would find to be unfair nowadays, if that makes sense.
I can probably see why you couldn't go back to that now, because one thing about the targets currently at the moment, at least it's absolutely generic for everybody. You know, you get plenty of time to actually start the target, even if you're delayed getting into it. Remember those old days they just put special buildings in there, so anybody that's had that much lag to get in, it would go and attack the building before actually we started going engaging things that were important, because people were just complaining about it already started and their fleet was dead before they even got into target. I mean, we haven't tended to see that so much now. Well, I've not heard of it so much anyway.
Oh, and to actually answer the question that was asked, instead of, tangents like I do, I would prefer to have more unavoidable damage and have to do a fewer number of targets. But that is for me as someone who works full time and plays other games, and in general, just I have stuff to do, and I can, if I would just do a set and then have a 3-hour repair, I'm good with that. I can do other things for 3 hours and then just come back and have 10-ish minutes of focused play and then just leave again and do other things or do nothing at all. That kind
That's
of thing
kind
is
of
nice.
how it's been, though.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I've gotten used to it. That's how I play now. I didn't used to play that way, but now I like it. You're right.
It's kind
So it's
of a break from the FMs where it's
Okay, how much? Because maybe they're doing what you guys want. Because, Brian, how much damage were you taking doing a set?
driving or auto.
Driving.
I could get my best 104, 106 combined was about 50-ish minutes a set. Not using any like splitting up and repairing and dock. Just
okay. Let's say you did that. What would you be at?
If I did that, and I did that every 50 minutes, my 106 best time was an hour and a half. But if we just assumed that, okay, so 50 minutes per, what am I assuming? 12 hours a day? So like 12 sets a day? Is that an assumption?
No. I'm looking for much simpler numbers. How much damage were you taking if you broke them down and if you broke them down after hitting a set? Well, you didn't have to, but you had a 104 and a 106.
I might have done that once, and I think if I broke everything down, it was something like so 10. So I'd say about 25 to 30 minutes total damage if I broke everything down.
Okay. All right. And before I release my number, does anybody else have any? And we're going to get back to Captain Lockheed's fly. That was, that was one of Robot's best things, where it would just sit up there waiting for your subs to surface and then just come and kill you. It was like it was one of the worst things ever. But yeah, it was. I forget the name of that one, but yeah, that was awful.
The Hunter Killer Mortar?
Yeah, the Hunter Killer Mortar. Yeah, that was just awful.
I actually thought I knew what he was talking about at first. I thought he meant the cheese balls on the assault targets, but no, it was actually locked in a deeper, darker recess of my brain.
The cheese balls are a very clever concept, I have to say. I mean, the person who designed those targets knew exactly how to annoy the crap out of the player base.
Get anti-lottery, scrub.
Absolutely.
As far as your question goes, I can instant repair for the most part in the dock. Definitely on the 104s, and usually on the 106s. Sometimes I have a couple.
You can instant repair on the dock on the 106.
Yeah. I get like 26 minutes. I might have like 2 minutes repair. Not
okay. I'm not saying Okay.
But
Yeah. No, because I got it. Okay.
I know you got it for instant, but
no, I never did. That's why I'm surprised that you did. And I talked to Derpy, and Derpy's like, "This is the best time I've better than I've ever gotten." So I'm just curious, when you get an instant on both of them.
No, I'd have 2 minutes on my flag.
Yeah.
So, but that's close to instant repair. But I got so tired of the targets, I was autoing the 104s, even though I could instant repair in the dock. I just didn't care anymore.
Well, yeah. I only hit a couple of 104s, basically because with the repair tokens, I would, yeah, I would go in auto a ton of 104s and then use the 2 hours of repair tokens because I'm already at max. And then I would hit the 106s, but the 104s, I could get instant repair by splitting them up. The best I ever did with the 106s was 67 seconds, and that was on the flag. So it was a grindy process, and it took driving, but I like to see that there was a spread between different kinds of driving on this. That, some driving was, would add 20 minutes, or, that's why I asked the question. I didn't really want to sully it with, saying what I got first, but that was my experience. But it still required hitting 160 targets, and
I started hitting the 905s. I could, if I drove it right, which I didn't always do, but with the Serpent crew, I could get about an hour and a half damage.
Mhm.
So I'd run it through a couple of times and then go do something else. But then I got more bang for the buck and then time on my hands. I knew I was going to get a lot more damage, but I got a lot more points as well.
Mhm.
So that's why I said I kind of want both. Give me the option.
Cake and eat it.
That's right.
Alrighty. Anything else with Retribution?
I had the same experience.
I
Which
don't-
experience?
Same as you just described in terms of repair.
Okay.
Sometimes like 2.5 minutes from the flag, and the rest of them were breakdowns, and the 104s were breakdowns.
Okay.
I was going to say, just out of interest, and Heifer, you're aware, I posted a thing on my channel about, out of interest, how well do you think the targets were balanced in the Retribution raid? Yeah, you can see there. I mean, not a huge poll, but, of the people that put in there, 28% were thinking it was more difficult. And actually, I think that's quite, as I said when we did the show, as the raid started, I thought they'd be a bit more troublesome in some, particularly the top level target, the 905. I thought it'd be a bit more burdening, but it wasn't as much as I was expecting. It was long to do, but I did manage to get it down. And as everyone said, I got to the stage where by the time you found them, and if you were finding them and going back into the dock and then fixing and then coming back out again, you were like wasting crew time and definitely wasting your own time. So I didn't bother in the end. I just went from target to target to target to hit as many as I could, as quick as I could, and then thought, right, I'll now use my own time whilst repairing. So still got to spend virtually no coin, actually, because I spent the money on the fleet in the first place. And the raid, invest early, and the raid, to be honest, was just time, but not horrendous time. So it's another way of playing the game. I'm a great believer in invest early, and then just reap the benefits right the way through. So that worked for me personally.
I used to do that, and then I forget which fleet it was. Was it Manicore? There was one fleet that I
Manicores. The
I
Manicores.
invested
They
early
changed it.
and it didn't matter. It didn't.
That may have happened about last November, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
That's when I quit investing early.
That's when I quit the game for a year.
Yeah. I understand.
I was not happy about that situation. But hey.
All right. Does that wrap up the Retribution?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure who's getting back at who. Is Kickside getting back at us for some previous raid? What's going on here?
Retribution.
Yeah.
Well, is that not Thor's hammer? Whose hammer is it?
Maybe it's half centaurs. Maybe it's Geely's. Maybe it's, I'm not sure whose hammer that is.
Discount
But-
Thor. It's Harbor Freight Thor.
Yeah. Straight over from China with the virus. So, alrighty. Yeah, because the stuff from Harbor Freight that I have, I'm always afraid that it's going to catch on fire. To be honest,
That's usually like one-time use only stuff, you know.
yeah.
You need something real quick. You just go get it and then you put it away.
You're playing roulette. Yeah, it's roulette, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
But it's
Oh, I
inexpensive.
wasn't sure if he was going with that or like a condom, but yeah.
Well, those are well. You used to use them more than once. but what the heck,
You older people, yeah, put them in the dishwasher or whatever. But
yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah, okay, all good. So for done Retribution, and
Why am I here?
Brian burying his head.
What have I done?
I don't know if
That could be how you got here, Brian.
yeah. So somebody had the dishwasher temperature up way too high. So the 139 was replaced with the 132. It's now drops the D99U shards as opposed to the Jagged Bite. Both are fucking useless at this point. I looked and I had 193 between the Jagged Bite and the Antipode combined available just from doing the FM. What's the solution there? I mean, it's, because everybody wants to have the, what's the name of the new scattering?
Is it Absolver? Absolver? Or is that the turret? I don't know.
No, Absolver is right.
Yay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, would people be happier with like a 1 in 5 drop?
No, I don't want a 1 in 5. I don't want a random choice of anything because it's like that 7-day token that people get multiples, and I've never had one. I do not want random things. Give me the shard.
But it's most of the fun, don't you know?
Nope.
Yeah.
Give me the shard. I earned it.
Kenny's all into the random.
Yeah, they can just sit in the pile with all the rest of the stuff that we got laying around.
You ever seen me drive? Random's my life.
Yeah.
My question is, did they make the 132 harder than the 135 and drop the 135 and drop the points?
Well, we'll find that out in a minute. We'll find that out in a minute. That's part of the the cliffhanger that we're driving across at this point. And maybe we'll make you drive it, Mike.
My doc's dead, but okay.
All right.
Bloody coiner.
I can check.
Alrighty. So the even though everybody thought the 127 was going to die, it was the 139 that passed away. So
Should have been the 135.
okay.
I like the 139.
139 wasn't bad. 135 is not too awful.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at the target, and if anybody wants to get prepped up to actually hit this target, it looks freaking simple, doesn't it?
It does.
Looks are deceiving. No, it is quite simple, and waypoints work brilliantly. I've found a little path, and it's okay, but it's just the damage for the points. 5.5k out is the total return at best.
Where's the damage coming from?
I hit it once, and I'm like, are they allowed to have the same weapon in the FM, same turret, and have it produce different damages at different levels?
It's their targets. They can do what they like, can't they?
I know.
Has the same or has a.
Yeah, I would think that they would do that.
And for those that haven't hit the target, that little cluster in the bottom left-hand corner, you do have to kill every single one of them.
That's nuts.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's just annoying. I mean, they do die quick, but if you just glide by and you miss one, then you go, oh, you got to go back. It just adds a couple of seconds. It's just frustrating. Why do you need a massive cluster of things? Just hit one thing. It's just pointless. Nurgatory works though.
So what's the killer in here? What's giving you all the damage?
I did it for about 1 hour 15, I think it is. I put up I'll probably post a video, but yeah, it was just in general terms. Don't auto it. Yeah, that's a good point.
What were you doing?
Definitely not an auto target.
What were you doing the 135 for?
Oh, I can't remember.
Because I didn't think that was a bad target.
Let me have a look. What if I
don't think I have any.
I'm going to queue up for hitting one, Hefe.
I don't know. Yeah,
I'm an hour away unless I use a token or something.
Okay. I mean, whoever wants to hit one,
I'm ready.
Kenny, I'll do it.
do it?
Throw it up there.
I'll tell people how not to do it.
We're at that time of the show where it definitely needs to happen.
I do
Someone
it
needs
if
to
you want.
die.
I can spend
All right,
a token
yeah.
if you want it.
Screen share, and we'll get it done.
Am I good?
Yep.
Find the right.
So bear in mind, whilst he's doing this, I managed to get the 141 down to 53 minutes
Oh,
or
nice.
7 minutes per ship. That's probably got.
Point.
All right, what am I hitting? What number?
132.
Yeah.
Any hints here? Stay to the outside, move fast, keep moving, tank.
Kill
Don't
them
cry
before
about
they kill you.
Don't cry in public. I don't know.
Stack, tank.
It's far more fun if no one tells you.
All
Yeah.
right. No, it's way more fun when everybody shouts out different directions when I start.
Okay.
I would definitely. I would definitely go down to the bottom, then back up around the top, and then zigzag left and right down through the target. You can seem to wipe out more that way. You use waypoints that way then. So straight down.
Straight
And
down.
yeah, pause there. Drag the front one out a bit. Then you see straight down. There's those two turrets. Yeah. So-
Right through that gate. Right.
Yeah, but don't go through, but just clip them so you can take them out, and then go straight up northeast. Northwest. Sorry. If you're using waypoints, that is. Turn already. Start turning. Turn. Oh, too late. All right.
No, it's just a little
And
late.
just go right and stay in the middle of the channel because you'll get everything out on the left and right. Go right to the very, very top now, all the way. Just one waypoint to the very, very top. All the way. Keep going. No.
Oh,
In
not that
between
way?
the two. Yeah, in between the two. You'll get everything then. You'll take it all out.
11 o'clock position.
That's it. And round the top.
I missed
Don't
those
stop
two.
though. Don't stop. Oh, what level are yours graded at?
Not as high as yours, evidently.
Evidently, yeah. My bad. You should be able to go around
That's
because
why I was going to do the.
you should be able to go around because there's two buildings. There's no turrets apart from those small little clusters, and then you can back on yourself and come back down. But obviously, bring the lead ship back up in front again. That's it. Click the whole lot now. That's it.
It stinks.
And go around the outside. That's it. Go where the ships are. Keep going around the outside. And then you can just cut through. Well, it depends if your timing's right for those two ships. It's not going to be right, actually. You've missed those turrets there as well.
Yeah.
There's a bit more nurgatory damage. So you've got to sort of like get into the corners a little bit more on this one.
Okay.
Those stupid buildings.
I missed the ship a little bit.
There you go. That's it. And that happened to be twice. Buildings left behind the corner. I think as long as we get the pathing right, it'll be fine. But
Yeah. Well,
I mean, so like there, you're getting two extra turret sets now hitting you when actually it's nurgatory damage, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you still got to go back and kill them and take the extra damage again. But you should be able to go straight down now and take the rest of those out. But you're gonna have about what, 2.5
2.5
hours?
damage or something. Like.
It's going to be doable though. Definitely, we'll get it under the hour without a doubt once we've worked.
I
out the
can
perk.
base repair 127, so until they kill those, I'll keep doing those.
Yeah, and like I said, I prefer the 141 personally, just for the fact that waypoints.
But
better.
you can't base repair after that, can you?
No, but I can get it done for under an hour. So, and for 8k in points, it's fine. Because you can then you don't have to have the flag as the out front. You can rotate which ship you want, so you can get quite a few done, and then just let them fix overnight, or go to work and let them fix.
So, oh wow, 4 hours damage.
Yikes.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I got the right path on that particular.
No, I'll tell you the problem is it's because they're pink and purple.
What's the deal on the cost of the target or the cost of the weapon or the engine? That's crazy.
Yeah, 45, isn't it?
It's nuts.
Yeah.
45, but it's limited, isn't it? Because
And you can have two. And you can
You can only have
that's
two,
the
yeah.
next slide would have been.
So
you need 5.
base repair for half that many points versus 4 hours. I think I'll take my.
Well, I give you a chance to use your tokens up for today.
Yeah, like I'm a bit like you. I still have all of mine.
No, I use mine every day, and they were open every day, so I could retrieve them.
Oh wow! I guess I took on your characteristics. And
I did what I was advised to do. I have not done it yet today, but I will.
So you have a video posted as well, TSL.
Yeah. I did one about an hour ago. or
Okay.
thereabouts. Yeah.
So you don't want to hit another one?
Not particularly.
Okay. All right.
I would do normally, but I've just killed the fleet. It's literally like it would be about, I don't know, 15 coin or something, and I'm not doing that. I'll do it in the morning first thing.
Okay.
I could do one, but I got an hour in my shipyard. Or my dock. I'd have to. I guess I got a token somewhere.
Oh, it's okay. People can find
Yeah,
video.
I didn't get a beer. I didn't get a beer. What was Kenny's time?
4 hours.
Guess. No. You should have said yes.
Oh my god! Oh, 4 hours. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do it if you want.
I think he was playing double or quits, but he didn't actually get any.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Okay. Alrighty. Well, 4 hours of repair.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a while to get to the.
no, I can base repair the 127 for half as many points. It's definitely the way to go.
Yeah. It's.
Upgrade level probably matters. You know.
Okay. Why is the engine triple the price of the rock block? That's a good question.
And I don't have an answer for you.
What?
Because you don't need the rock block, and you definitely need the engine.
Well, yes, and
I
also,
mean, he's not wrong.
and you needed 20 something of the armors. I actually look at it as a discount. My big problem here is the number of claims. You can only claim 2 per week. And so we have VXP weekend showing up on Friday. So
Engine 1, it's like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Engine ones. Just take a random engine on. It's 15 minutes to replace it. So, well, don't put any engine on at all. It doesn't matter, does it?
I think the
but the problem we had was they changed things. I mean, this is our preview. They don't give us a strategy guide till the day before. So certain people that want to coin stuff and help the community by looking at things, they don't have the opportunity to even do that because they're only going to have 2 engines on things. Because what are the big questions going into the building the Zealot? Well, to be honest, my big question is what countermeasure to use.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
There's
2 questions here, isn't there? Splash damage reduction, extra evade, or which countermeasure. Those are the 3 areas that actually you can make some adjustments on.
You said evade, right?
Splash damage reduction.
Yeah, splash damage reduction is a possibility, and
And what?
I mean, I'm trying to think now. So splash damage reduction was one, evade was the other one, and then
Which
the other one
Countermeasure.
which countermeasure.
Which countermeasure to use? Yeah, that makes sense to me.
And that's it. Everything else is actually scripted for you. You really shouldn't go outside those three specials.
Mhm.
Apart from those three things there, everything else is set, and you can't really adjust anything because you're definitely going to get a worse ship anyway if you did.
And what is
And
the
every
new
build
FM?
video that's out there is indicating the same thing, whether it be Ren, whether it be Derpy, or anybody else. Those are all set, and the rest of them are just like, well, we just don't know yet.
And we hope we're going to see that in the VXP target. And we hope that they won't change it drastically before the raid.
Well, we know what happened last time.
Yeah, I know.
So I haven't looked at the blueprint yet. How many of these armors do we need now?
It's 4, isn't it, for the ship?
Yeah, 4 per ship, so 20 total.
Which is
Glad
doable.
I'm glad it's not
I think the actual
6.
the best thing I can come up with for why the engine costs so much is if you went hard and you got all your armors last month, that was 3 weeks and 4 of each, so you have 24 armors and you're set, and they want to keep FM participation among the typically caught up players high because I guess some people coin FM or something like that.
Well, some people don't, and some people are behind. So some people aren't happy. Just saying.
Yeah, they don't care about that.
But if you take that 17.5 and multiply it by 8, you're still getting a 30% reduction, 33% reduction relative to the 45 times 2.
Yeah, and for me, it's like I got all my armors because I'm insane, and so it's like, well, this sucks. This is like 2.5 times the armor or whatever, and then it's like, wait, I only need 2, so I actually have to hit fewer targets. But
Yeah.
like, that doesn't really make me feel better. Like if I was out a week, I'd still have to do all that and then get a week's worth of armor, let's say.
You
And that would
really,
be awful. Even chipping away at it through the weeks of the FM, it's like, well, I don't even have a point reduction. It's still
Well-
45,000.
you can't miss an FM because you only get 2 claims per week.
Yeah, that's the other thing. On top of the other reason it's 45,000 is you can only get 2, so it's 90,000 total.
And you cannot miss an FM. Or else you're going to miss
Does
it.
anybody remember how much was the V42 rock block 15K a month ago?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. But
It
the
was-
claim was 5, which
But it wasn't in the FM, was it?
Yeah, it's in again now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was it was a delayed edition.
Okay. I already had it, I guess. So
Like it
Yeah.
was, I think it was all of the second month, but I think like maybe the last week of the first month or whatever after it was in pillage, it might have gone in. But I think Hefe is also sort of correct in that, well, whoever
Sort of.
mentioned it was correct, where the Sacred Artifact engine is so much better than the next possible choice, as opposed
is.
to the rock block, where you don't
Yeah.
need it. It's good, but everyone else just uses Scorcher engine on their back 4. You needed maybe 1. But this is so much better that you feel like you need this. It's kind of like the D99Us versus the D99Fs. And yeah, you can miss 1. Realistically, you can miss 3 claims and still be okay. But
You could technically probably get away with, well, because obviously it'll come in pillage. But when will the engine be available in pillage as well as obviously the flagship?
probably.
Because then you can
And-
get away with only doing half of them.
And or maybe a TLC.
And pillage is generally a lot easier than grinding that many points in the FM, or at least a lot less tedious.
Yeah, and the pillage is going to happen. Always happens the week before the raid, so you also have the, the idea of that you need to, rush to get things equipped that you get at that point in time, because that's at the point in time where we're going to get the flag. So you're not going to have you're not going to have any free time.
you never
So-
have free time.
Well, yeah.
Really.
Well, as far as shipyard free time, sometimes it does happen, but yeah, that's yeah.
Shipyard free time doesn't happen. Build time free time happens, but because of
it-
upgrades,
Oh, it
shipyard
can.
time never.
Shipyard free time happened to me a few months ago when it was just like, I can't upgrade. I can't upgrade everything completely. I can't upgrade things to the next level, or I thought the next upgrade sucked, and it was completely fully built. And it's like, well, I guess I can refit my Praetorians a little bit, sort of, kinda. It was the Pegasus. That's what it was. The Pegasus were just like, I was not enthused with the upgrades. I'm not enthused with these upgrades
So
either.
you're gonna spend all
Hey,
this time to get the sacred artifact engine, which is it sort of breaks their rules, but um, yeah, it's
I also kind of think that product is seeing what they can get away with. As much as I will complain and be sad about 2.25 million points for one limited gun, I'm part of the problem because I bought all 10 of them because I figured they would be needed in the top end targets.
yeah, because we need to get basically like 40 of them, right?
35.
Yeah, we complain about it, but we still do it.
Yeah, because we figure we have to.
Yeah,
Maybe this time we don't
yeah.
actually have to. Last time I'm almost 100% sure we had to. This time, maybe not so much.
Yeah, we're getting reviews on Harbor Freight as well. I forget who brought up Harbor Freight.
Me.
Okay, yeah.
I used to be an engineering major before I took an arrow to the knee. Harbor Freight was the butt of every equipment joke you ever did find in there.
Yeah. Okay. So, do we have any more slides or no? All right. The limited engine, the sacred artifact engine.
That makes it sound like they're worshiping the engine.
Well, because they dug it up from the bottom of the ocean.
Maybe that's why it's so expensive. The historical
Scourge's
value.
ancient technology collected from sunken vessels. I mean, that is an expensive process, as you're well aware of, to recover stuff from the deep sea. So maybe that's and the build time. Almost a day. I mean, like they've already dug it up from the ocean, and
Amazing that it's corrosive, but it sat at the bottom of the ocean and didn't eat itself.
well, it's got corrosive survival of 3,200.
Oh, so it
therefore it
It's immune to
existed.
itself.
Yeah.
protected itself from the ocean.
Yeah. It's galvanized.
I have 13 damage diffusion systems. Let's see if they're going to be useful.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay.
That was the one thing I was thinking when it's like splash damage reduction, combat speed. Wait, something does both of these things, or evade and splash damage, and it's like, oh, that is both of these. I wonder. Probably not.
I had a conversation with Lady Cat a couple of days ago regarding corrosive battery. Does anybody think corrosive battery is going to be necessary for this build? The Zealot build.
I mean, I bought spare ones in the raid because thankfully someone reminded me that they're for sale and I only had one.
I didn't
Yeah, but if you try to piece together a build and be like, okay, I need this.
I don't want to make that decision until I see something resembling an actual target. Because last time, the assault had way more turrets as a percentage of total health and as actual things you could shoot in the target, as opposed to that was a garrison raid.
Yeah.
So
Well,
normally,
I mean, Brian, this is unscripted, but is there any way you want to do, like, how do you want to mock up a ship?
I I can try. Let me.
And then, we screen share it, and then we can talk about mocking up a ship as far as like what's good, what's bad, and whatnot. Are you good? Are you good with that or no?
Yeah, I'll put the window up and kindly
Okay.
close the people of things here. I gotta remember. Oh, how do I do that on this? I've never done that on this. Go over here. Oh, there's a share screen button. Okay.
Now, I will say that based on my conversation with Hefe, I decided not to put the effort in to get 5 million more points to get the battery. If I have to have them, then I'm hoping there'll be a pillage, or I'll just mount it on my saddles.
Or Chrome could.
I'm just curious what other
alright,
people
okay,
would
let me just
build.
make sure everything.
Because that was my thoughts on the build. I'm
Yeah,
like,
no, let's check out the stuff
I
you
don't
got.
know if corrosive
How the heck
batteries
did
like
you?
comes into play.
When I looked at the specials I had to have, and then the spaces that were left,
Yeah.
I thought it fell lower on the spectrum of what I might put on.
What would you use instead? I'm curious.
Well, it's
I've
going to
got something here.
on the target.
Okay, TSM, you want to share something, or are we gonna have Brian make a build?
Brian, go
I'm
first.
all
I've got one
I'm all
up here.
set
Though.
up actually.
What?
I'm all set up.
So is this arcane
Okay.
knowledge again? What am I missing, Hefe, that made you think that might not be necessary? The fact that it's not going to have turrets firing at you?
You're going to find out momentarily.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
Don't spoil the ending.
I'm
No, I'm talking to Kenny.
No.
All right.
what should be? You should be seeing my shipyard right now.
Yep, we're
Soon?
in the shipyard.
Okay. So this is what I had come up with. This corrosive sink drive is replaceable, so I'm going to take that out. But it's
But you still need to keep the slot. Throw the other.
let me find it in here. There. So there's that.
Yeah.
This has to be a countermeasure to go overweight. I didn't think about it. I just threw the Phalanx 4 in there. After the I'm thinking the MDS3 is going to be the best because it was the best last time, but I'm not 100% sure about that. You've got your other 7 scattergun seasoned to taste. The armors I just put 2 and 2 because I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, the armor, the specials are the yeah.
Yeah, Sacred Artifact, Full Focus Choke, the Twin Fang Feeder. I mean, they're the best in their class for damage, and assuming you could get all of them, they're good. I am not sure what I had in the high volatility cartridges slot.
I love that one. That's high on my list. Look at that.
Yeah. Look at projectile speed's a good stat. That's a bunch of corrosive damage. It's building and wall damage, and there is a building damage bonus.
Yeah.
There's a building damage bonus inherent to the hull, so that's going to build off of that just a little bit. The 5th slot countermeasure loaders, and it's just for reload because the reload of this is 6. Rank is going to cut that to 1.5. And if I look over here, corrosive reload 100%. So, and this is.
Yeah.
This is more for. Okay, this is for the. I don't see corrosive reload on it, so this is scattergun reload 25%. So that does apply. And it helps with the MDS. This is the slot that I like the least, but this is the slot that's probably going to be more contentious. So I want to look and see what else we could put here.
Well, I mean,
it's going to depend.
What is your evade? What is your evade at this point?
Don't know if I even have any. Let's find out with science. 15% from the engine, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the part where
agility is the thing. I think personally.
Yeah, agility or GS3. Either way.
Yeah,
and for the corrosive battery. Okay, so let's see what that would do to our corrosive. if we did that, it would go from 33. What? I must have clicked on something else. 33 or 3% corrosive damage down to okay. 3303 down to 2518. Is about 30%. I just put the calculator up. And our evade now with this is 56%. Throw in the 20% if you put it up to you too, and you're going to get it to about 2/3.
Okay. So
It really depends. I mean, if I had a ship that I planned to take the lead and take the damage, like the flagship, for example, I would definitely do like I did with my Punishers and put an evade special on it because it's going to get the most value there. If I somehow expected for other ships to get shot, example being the riots, I think I had something different. Oh, I upgraded the first and the fifth ship because when you're running away from the target, generally the ship in last position is the one that gets shot at least it was with the riots. I think one of the interim one, it was semi-random as to which one got shot, or it might have changed over time. But 1 and 5, I think, could definitely benefit from this, and maybe 2, 3, and 4, you could go with corrosive battery. I'm just going to look and see.
well,
if there's
there's other issues here. I mean, there's go back to the
build.
Yeah. Okay. You have evade. You have some amount of countermeasure. It's countermeasure mixed with a lot of reload and whatnot for other things. You agree?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's only here for the scattergun reload.
Yeah. Well, it's also no. It's
it's here for the scattergun
yeah,
reload and the countermeasure.
and the countermeasures. Yeah, the countermeasures. I mean, we don't know what the flag looks like, right?
Right.
You know, because we're limited to two slots, and you've only used one here. Because this is the point where, like, okay, can we do something different here? And it's hard. We don't know. We don't have a the ability to see if.
And I mean, the reason in general that I have this sort of a thing, well, actually, you know what? I wonder.
I mean, because you could look at a lot of the countermeasure specials.
Oh, hey, we can actually, if we do GS3, we can actually fit an 8th gun. I might consider doing that, maybe, but I doubt it. You don't really need. I had this on here because initially, if I put this guidance scrambler back to corrosive battery, I could not make this a weapon. It would go overweight. So I didn't. And I figured that with 5 MDS3s, that should be enough. And if it's not, I can always change it. That's fine. But, for the interest of range and accuracy and a little bit of offensive buff, we've got the countermeasure loaders down here. But if I need even fewer than that, I might actually consider switching guidance scrambler to corrosive battery or doing something else that's more offensive in nature. The way I try to think about the fleet is I try to think about what's coming at me. In the case of countermeasurable things, it's going to be how much do I need to be able to survive in almost every circumstance well. And once I have that baseline, it's going to be from there. Is there something else I need to think about? Maybe there's some sort, well, like the I guess speed with the breaches would be the best thing I could think of. Is like, do I need to build for combat speed or turn speed? Do I need to build for something else that's the main mechanic of the target? And if I don't, or if I've already considered and done that, then it's just going to be pure damage. I've got as much defense as I think I need. Let's try to kill it as fast as I can. Because if it's not shooting at me because it's dead, I'm not taking damage.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Is anybody?
GSM was going to show us his.
Okay.
Yeah, it's practically the same sort of stuff. To be honest, there are a couple of there are too many. Well, there's not too many unknowns. There are a couple of unknowns which actually limit you to consider what to.
Now that we've done that,
Yeah. Do you need splash damage reduction? Which might be, and speed. What do you think about hyper 30s?
Well, yeah, again,
You know, we don't know.
yes, that's true that we don't know, and that's part of the issue as far as the fact that we don't know because we're not going to get a strategy guide until the day before, and we don't even have the ability to put engines on until
week
well
3.
after PXP weekend is over.
Oh, well, week 2 in practice because we won't have the flag yet.
Okay. Oh, what are you drinking there, Brian?
Water.
Okay, whatever. I will believe you.
You do that.
Oh my god, that much vodka would just put me on my ass. Okay.
I'm a young man.
yeah, it's all good. So,
how
what
I'm
were
so
you
white.
what were you gonna talk about, TSM?
Yeah, I'm just like I said. I'm just still unsure yet on whether splash damage reduction is going to be important or not. I don't think it is. I think actually you can probably get away with more evade. Just the very hint that like you said, Brian was saying there are various ways to get with the invade. The right crew, obviously, you can use Sea Serpent crew. You can get your alliance bonus if you're in alliance as well. It gives you another 20% on top of that. There are ways to get this thing up past the 56%. Obviously, it's diminishing returns with evade, but you can get this thing up past the 70% mark quite easily once you put all those multiples together. So getting evade up to a reasonable amount is you get 20% with the U2 upgrade. Let's say another 20%. With obviously your alliance bonus and then the Sea Serpent bonus on top of that as well, and better turning capability.
And we have no fucking idea what's going to happen with the flag. Is the flag going to have?
Or is it going to have and that sort of stuff? Yeah,
like 30% evade already built in, and then and as opposed to 200 million armor. What 200 million armor? Yeah, we're gonna have 400 million armor on that bad boy. And yeah, it's tricky for people to try to guess what they're supposed to do.
I mean, the flag wasn't anything special other than a tank. Really, it just had more base armor. It had the 16,000 aura.
But the additional base armor was huge.
Yes, it was definitely, and I kind of expect the flag to be the same because it's kind of it's simple design. It might be lazy design, but it might not be. Maybe that's just how they want to do with flags going forward. Usually can't evade corrosive. Yeah, we got missiles in these too.
Yeah,
it's the missiles. Yeah. So I was going to change it, and so my armor is going to be slightly different if I can get this right. I'm going to go with 3 corrosive and 1 penetrative. If I can get the evade up high enough to then counter the missiles.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good idea.
But I just don't know.
I think that Sea Serpents is going to be the big crew for this because not only does it have the evade buff, but these ships are fast, but their turn speed seems like it could leave a little something to be desired. And if we're having to move against actual moving and curving ships, turn speed is something that we would generally like, at the very least, to like trick ships into going a different way or get away from a splash or whatever. Who knows?
Why I hate having to tank drive a target like that. Well, mine did against the stationary objects, but using a tank against ships is really challenging.
I mean, Well, the thing is too, that aura range is only 16. It's not 40. So you're not going to have a ship all pronounced out in front. You might like move it just a little tiny bit up, but you might not even have to because of how exact how exactly the movement works when you select all ships. It's not all at once they're commanded to move. There's a very small delay, but the number one ship is asked to move first. So even if it's like a millisecond ahead, if everything is speed matched, that thing is still ahead and still technically in front. It's by like a sub-pixel probably, but you that's still in front and still getting hit by the missiles and such.
Okay. I guess we'll find out.
I mean, it's going to be a little different if you like move it forward and then you're in combat with a bunch of ships and you're weaving all around and then you order them to move forward. Then I'm not sure. But
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing this VXP target.
I think
But it still may not help you.
I know.
yeah, it still may not help, and it's still like we're not going to have anything resembling full ships until like maybe pillage if we're lucky. So, and the last VXP target we had to interact with, for assault, we killed 2 turrets and left. That's what we did. We even killed them from the fog bank or something. I think like we learned nothing in practice with how we actually ranked it. And yeah, there's going to be a guy or two that runs the whole target. Thanks, Jerry. But that might not always help because it might just be very different in the raid. I think that they should give us something in pillage, like something on akin to like an A set target difficulty level, or like one from the top, and to hit our new ships, with our new ships, and maybe give us a special side bonus of like 2,500 pillage points and an Absolver Shadowgun card or 2, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the sort of build I'm sort of thinking. I don't know if you can see that, but I've Hefe disappeared. Is that screen shareable? I don't know. Has he wandered off? He's
Yeah.
probably
wandered off.
Can't see it.
He's good at that, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He's probably
So
going to get
you'll
another
have to
drink.
tell us about it.
So yeah, I mean, I've basically gone diminishing returns as ever with armor as well. Obviously, when it gets to when you get obviously your retrofits up and your U3, and there's probably going to be an X1 as well. Once the survival rate goes up, then obviously it isn't as important. And obviously, we don't know what the flagship's going to come. But yeah, I've gone for the guided scrambler system of agility because it's lighter, as Brian said, but it's also faster to put on, so it builds quicker as well. You don't need the other stuff that agility gives you, not in assault anyway. The stun and all that sort of thing, it's pointless. It doesn't do anything at all, and the evade state is exactly the same. I've also gone, with countermeasure load of 4, simply because obviously the reload capability, scattergun reload, 25%, quite like that, and obviously it helps in obviously with the anti-missile ranges and that sort of stuff, and the accuracy as well. And then on the last one, like I said, for the armor, I've gone for the 3 of the corrosive armors, and then only 1 of the penetrative, and I'll give that a go. And if it's wrong, I'm particularly thinking that standard for Kix's Eye as well. The penetration damage, if it's not splash based, it's accuracy based, it'll target one particular ship, and I can always flip that one around and make it stronger for penetrative instead. But we'll see. That sounds like Hefe's back.
That sounds like a really good idea.
There's your screen up.
Yeah, so that's it basically. I mean, obviously I'm upgrading my dock and bits and bobs, so that's the raw ship build costs there, 14 days, and so is it 10 days on top of the actual raw hull? I think it is something like that. On top of that.
Yeah. It's 4 days and a couple hours for the raw hull. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I mean, the countermeasure one, that's the one I'm waiting for more information from the VXP weekend.
Yeah, we just don't know, so it's
yeah. If you wanted, I mean, if you wanted to strip this down to what you would feel confident building over the next week or so, what would you strip out?
Just these three here.
Okay,
No, just these two. Probably just these two, to be honest. And maybe actually the countermeasure, because we don't know if MDS, which is expensive to put on anyway. Maybe that's not the right countermeasure. We've been caught out on that before as well.
Mm-hmm.
These two definitely.
Yeah. No, I agree. Those are the ones.
And like I said, I've gone for 3 corrosive armor as just because I've gone for, you can't evade corrosive because it's area effect weapon, whereas you can evade, obviously, or you can generally evade incoming missiles if you get it.
Well, unless they do some of the crap they've done to us previously, where they've, we have missiles that do corrosive damage. What was it? The Hydras?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but that design team is gone, so hopefully they don't do that kind of shit to us again.
It's one of the reasons I came back to the game, because that design team's left.
Yeah. Okay, we'll change the rules. We won't tell anybody, but it's I understand what you're. It was disconcerting what they were doing during that point in time.
I don't know if I've shared this before, but basically I had a look at crews and capabilities for those crews for this coming raid as well.
You're coming well prepared. Look at this.
Yeah, I like it.
High level production. Look at this. Hey, Lady Cat. Yeah, take notes.
So this helps or not? It may not. So Maidens, believe it or not, the Molotov Maidens actually has a splash increase, which bizarrely does work with scatterguns, even though this crew came out before scatterguns existed.
Yeah.
And I've tried this before in a previous assault raid. It does work. So that crew, and there's a lesser one, obviously. So that crew does work. It helps. Sea Serpents, as we know, the 24% evade is a right Brucey bonus. It's a brilliant one. I just said Brucey bonus. That's a real English thing to say. All right. Those that are from the UK will get what I just said there, probably, but everybody else is probably getting why you just said that. It's a bit like bits and bobs, but anyway. And obviously you get your turn speed there, 150%. So that's perfect. Creeping Death, building damage. If there's loads of buildings, then obviously that's an easy one to roll for, and it's definitely worth doing. Pointless crews. Okay, then pointless crews. Obviously, the crew there that's on there, I can't remember the name of it anyway. That gives you reload speed. The Deadeyes, it's absolutely pointless. If we look at the stats of that crew, there is nothing that's going to help you. There's not a single stat in that crew that will help you with the assault raid. It just doesn't work with scatterguns.
Well, yeah, besides the penetrative damage, but it's not.
But it's wasted time.
You're only taking half advantage of it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but you can deal with. You'd be better off using Creeping Death and killing the buildings faster, or you're better off using Sea Serpents and getting the 24% evade. There's absolutely zero return. And it's a more expensive crew to roll, or less likely crew to roll. So it's waste of time.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
No, well, Steelheads, I get pretty.
But Steelheads is fine, but Steelheads is only good for penetrative incoming. So is what I was talking about. So it doesn't. Let's see, it came out before corrosive. It doesn't work. And then the same with the other two as well. So they're top tier. Hard to roll for. If you're going to use obviously Grease Monkey crew, leave it in your dock. You're not gaining anything by taking it out to reduce the incoming damage. Yes, for penetrative, but then again, I'd rather use a Sea Serpent crew and then go back in the dock and then use this one once you've virtually killed your fleet and then fix your fleet up.
Doesn't the Grease Monkey also give you like more speed as you become more damaged? Is that one?
Yeah.
It can, it does. If you want to zoom past it, last time we had this and I tried that, you end up zooming past some of the buildings. You have to go back again because you were speeding up, and it depends on how you drive and that sort of stuff. I didn't find it very helpful, and the fact that I rather had extra evade, and I end up it was far more cost effective.
Yeah, I would be more concerned actually. In practice, it's probably only going to be your lead ship that takes a lot of damage and then zooms out in front of the rest of the lot. But if something happened and somehow like your ship number 4 took damage and it's running out ahead into something that really wasn't meant for it, that might be an issue.
Yeah, that's why you keep it in the dock.
Do you guys take any clues from the fact that it says 200 million armor.
Yeah.
It's thick.
Yeah.
Three-piece.
She's got some thighs. This ship.
Well, actually, so did the Punishers.
Sounds like a ZZ Top record to me, but there we go.
Well, yeah. It's all good.
For their reunion tour, they got to be hip with the kids.
Personally, I don't see Brian listening to ZZ Top, but
She's
Yeah,
got
because-
legs and she knows how to use them.
because this is coronavirus day whatever on his beard.
Hey, whatever. But he's right though. It took till like 10 a.m. It took me 2 hours after I clocked into work to figure out that it was Wednesday and I had to prep for the web meeting. It's like, oh crap, I got to study.
Anyway, so going back to that then, anything on the left-hand side of that screen with obviously like the
You can throw it back, because I'm trying to encourage Lady Cat to get that level of production back up. To
You make the slides. I just
whatever. It's
Yeah.
all good.
I'm just a Vanna White
Okay.
with a mouth.
All good. So, I don't know. Since there's no slides up anymore.
We're an hour and a half in anyway. That's enough.
Yeah.
Well, we'll kill him with kindness. But yeah.
Thanks TSM for sharing that though.
That's
all right.
right. It's mostly common sense anyway, to be honest. But it's most people, they might not think about it, and it's just a thing that obviously, and they, I don't know if they could have changed it, but maybe it's really old code, bringing in actually corrosive protection in to some of those crews,
Well, they keep saying they're going to get to the cruise. It's just at the bottom of their list.
Yeah, I don't think they are.
Yeah, probably not.
All right. So we'll see you all on Friday when we. There's a couple things we might expect. The PVE Hall calendar that might be up, and maybe we're going to get more information on what happened for Ben and other people that feel a little bit screwed over what happened last night in regards to upgrading ships and upgrading turrets and buildings and whatnot. So.
And we'll have the BXP targets.
And you got to beat 1 hour 15 for a 132. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So be prepared to somebody to show us the way to do it.
Yeah, they're usually, hopefully they're nice and they give like an easy little in and out. So, alrighty. Thanks everybody for showing up on the show and showing up in chat, and we do appreciate it. We, like everybody, being involved with the game. So, any parting words, anybody? Brian seems.
What is time? Time is an illusion.
When you're playing the game, it just goes on and on and on.
What? I'm gonna look up that Bill Hicks quote because I don't remember it all.
Okay.
The book was today. A young man on acid, thus and such.
Listen to some ZZ Top in your spare time.
The young man on acid realized that all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration that we are all unconsciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There is no such thing as death. Life is only a dream, and we are the imagination of ourselves.
Yeah.
There, that.
10 to 15 days. I'm sorry, 10 to 15 years of isolation, and Brian will get the ZZ Top beard to go, below his chin. He does a good job with the,
I've actually kept myself groomed because at some points I do go outside and I can go back.
Did you just say you've got yourself groomed?
Okay, to the extent that I can. This
That's
is
groomed.
this is still going to happen. I can't stop this. Well, I
What a
can, but I
catch!
don't want to.
What a catch!
Yes. all the ladies lining up outside my base. I don't know.
Which door?
Oh, the ladies are lighting upside down at your base. Okay, this is a whole different thing.
Well, I got to bring it back to BP somehow.
Okay, all right, it's all
Okay.
good. It's all good. You know,
Okay.
we know they're coming through the right door, not the left
Well,
door.
There might be a
They
tiger.
come in the right door and they get deposited in the left door. So yeah, we're all aware of that.
Tiger behind one of those doors, so be careful. It's a lady or a tiger. For those of you that remember that.
I'm too young for that sort of thing.
You'll have-
I don't know about remember that. It's still kind of the thing now.
It's a fable. That's it.
Oh, it's a fable? Oh.
Anyway, lady and or the tiger.
Okay.
Not
All
an
right.
exotic one. All
Right,
right.
everyone stop talking. Come on, let's get out of here.
Have a
Yeah,
good
all
night,
right.
everybody.
Well, thanks to everybody for showing up, and Lego, and everybody. Thanks for showing up, and hopefully some of this was useful. And thanks for showing up, and we will see you again on Friday, where we have information on the PVE calendar, or whatever is going to happen with Kixeye between now and then. And maybe they're going to screw up again, because most of the show was made up of how they screwed up. So,
Good night, everybody.
you all sleep well.
Run away.
And we do appreciate you showing up. So, later, people.
Bye.
See ya.
Good night.
Run away.